I get asked all the time, what exactly do you do as a book editor? Sorry, it's so dark. I literally just finished editing a manuscript and it's midnight here, so it's midnight editors. First, here's what I don't do. I don't rewrite your book. Unless you want to co-write or hire me as a ghostwriter, which is always an option, but that's totally different as an editor. So here's what I do. Think of your book as a house. So developmental editing is like the foundation. Chili please. I'm looking at structure, pacing, character arcs, plot coherence, etc. Does this thing stand up? But then there's copy editing, which is different. That's customizing the rooms in your house, let's say. So your foundation's solid, but now we're painting, we're decorating, we're making sure that the flow works. I'm tightening voice, fixing grammar, punctuation, spelling, addressing show versus tell, which is a big one. I also suggest chapter rearrangements, possibly, point out and delete repetition. But here's the thing. I want you to succeed. Your editor wants you to succeed. Your book doing well reflects on me, after all. So we're co-partners in the editing process. I have authors that I have worked with for 5, 6, 7 books, and they know that having an editor is indispensable. A trusted partner who helps elevate their work to more professional publishing standards. I have 20 years in the publishing industry. I've worked as an editor, associate publisher at She Writes Press, which is one of the most awarded indie presses in history in the US. I'm also an author myself. I've worked as a distribution manager, a project manager who has shepherded hundreds of books to the finish line. And I bring those tools that support what you do best as the author, which is the creative work, regardless of your background. When do you need an editor? That's another question that I hear a lot. Manuscript needs to be complete, first of all. It's ideally you would have done a couple self-edits on your own. I know authors are like, I've read this book so many times, my eyes are crossing, I can't read it anymore. But at least a couple edits. If you could find a group of beta readers, that's great. Maybe 4 or 5 from your writing community, the library, writing groups at your local bookstore, online, even one friend or 2. That's great. So once you work in that feedback, you would turn it in. But if you're not sure if you need developmental or copy editing, if you're getting feedback about overall structure, but you can't really nail down what's wrong, that means you probably need developmental editing. You can also start with an editorial assessment, which is a pretty economical option where you get, 10 pages of specific genre appropriate guidance on what to rearrange or change. At least that's what I do anyways. I think that's great for authors to feel out what they actually need. One thing, do not get a proofread before copy editing. Proofread is the last step and could also be included depending on how you're publishing, if you're going hybrid or traditional. How do you find an editor? I get that question a lot. Well, first of all, DM me or email me. Go to midnighteditors.com because I'm the best. But seriously, you should always research, interview a few editors, see who fits your genre and your vibe. Google local editors, check Editorial Freelancers Association or bookbaby.com. Ask your author community if you have one for referrals. And then once you have a handful that seem like a good fit for you, that seem legitimate, ask questions, request samples and rates, see how you vibe with them. They should be able to give you a portfolio or at least, a sample. But warning, a lot of sites out there ask you to just upload your manuscript and word count, pay, and that will just get it farmed out to foreign contractors or AI, and you do not want that. You want a human editor on your side. I couldn't even go through all the things of what an editor does in a couple minute video. So I've decided to break this up into a couple videos. So coming soon, I'm going to do 5 questions to ask an editor. And then the 5 types of editing you need to understand that are also the types of editing that I do. So happy writing and see you on the page.